Ladies and gentlemen,
before
this
the
is the
podcast.
Wealth Savant Show in action. This is Perry literally reading me, calling out me out of my patterns. And, you know, it's a lot, but all of the information I've had could literally be life-changing, and I can
Oh,
feel
yes,
that.
actually
I can
hearing from
feel
that,
it.
yeah.
I can
Yeah.
feel it. Welcome to the Wealth Savant Show. I'm Briony Winchester, and this is Perry Mardon. Perry has a fairly unusual skill in the ability to see what other people can't see. In the Wealth Savant Show, we have 4 very distinct sections. Number 1, we ask Perry a technical question. Number 2, we ask Perry a patterns question. Number 3, he's going to read a special guest every week and help them with their wealth desire challenges. And number 4, I get to ask whatever I want. My favorite part. So welcome, Perry. Let's get started and see what you know. I have my little jars here, technical questions and patterns questions, and we're going to ask a technical question first. The best part about the questions is neither Perry nor I have seen them before. So everything you're seeing is happening in real time, and let's get started. Technical question for you, Perry, around wealth. Why do some businesses seem to grow effortlessly while others constantly struggle?
Well, it would be wrong of me to give a simplified answer to that. So I'm going to do that question justice, because there are a whole bunch of factors that come into play in building wealth creation vehicles, businesses, or investment vehicles. And we can separate them into, say, tactical versus subconscious, which is what I'll do. This is the easiest way to probably communicate this. And I'm going to do this in a particular way. So, first of all, most people that start businesses don't start businesses. They build themselves jobs. And that's because of the way that they are programmed to think. It's also because of their technical knowledge, which is fairly low when it comes to building a business. So, case in point, and you might even identify with this, you have
I'm
some
already
expertise,
nodding.
expertise or some knowledge. But we'll just transition this into a very easy to understand example. You're an electrician. You do an electrical apprenticeship. And one day, after you finish your apprenticeship, you're still working for your boss, and you look at your boss and you think, God, this guy knows nothing. I could run my own business. Right. Right. I can bring it to you. You've got expertise and skills, and you go, okay, I'm not going to work for others. I'm going to go and I'm going to start a business. Now, of course, they are starting a business technically. They have an ABN number here in Australia. That's what we call it. But what they're doing is they're just translating their particular view of wealth creation, which is I trade time for money. They all do it. So I'm going to build the business. I'm going to be the electrician. I'm going to start doing the books. I'm going to start doing the marketing, advertising, and all this is exciting. And within a year, they're working 60 to 70 hours a week, probably earning less than they would in a job. And they're now a roadblock to what we call scale. Well, that's one example of a business. It's not a great example of business because you can't sell that business for a lot of money. It's missing certain elements. So a good wealth creation vehicle would have leverage, would have scale, which I can define for you, would have continuity income, would have passive elements to income. And they are completely opposite to, I'm going to go and I'm the one that's a doer. I'm the one that's trading my time for money. I'm the one that's doing the bookkeeping. I'm the one that's delivering the service to the client, or any form of that form of thinking. Now, so I'll just shortcut this now to answer that question. So technically, most people that have gone through the education system will build businesses that keep them trapped. And that's a combination of the worker thinking that anyone from the working, middle, or professional classes has been programmed in. And that's actually worth digging into if you want to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you said people who start businesses are just building themselves a job, you're right. Because you go from just doing low level job into I'm now the manager of my own business job, which is twice as hard and twice as stressful and takes twice the amount of time. But exactly what you're saying is trading time for money. Is that something that we're taught at school?
Of course. And, I'm a thinker. And as a thinker, I look at everything and I question it. So, as an example, most people have just entered a school system based on what their parents have told them. And what parents tell their kids is that the safest way to create wealth is to get a good education and get a good job. Now, that's a lie, which is really easy to work out. And that system of education, which was set up on a lie, was designed to service the people that created the education system. And that still stands to this day. So what do I mean by that? And we've got to separate here, by the way, that education system is incredible for creating expertise. If I want to be a great scientist, I want to go and get educated, right? So I'm not knocking the education system, but we're being lied to about what it's for. It is the slowest way and the least safe way to create wealth, but I've got to work with you. Your parents told you to go to school. Let's go do this now. Why did your parents tell you to go to school? Let me stop telling what I think. Let's have a look at something. Why are we told to go to school?
Because everyone else does. But also, isn't it illegal to not send your kids to school?
Again, maybe I'm not taught. This is not about not sending your kids to school. All right, I'm going to step back. I've worked with thousands upon thousands of business owners and investors. You know that about me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And these business owners come to me. Many of them have quite reasonable IQs. They're smart human beings. However, the school system ensures they can't create wealth. The very fact that they went through the school system stops them creating wealth. Now, I can see your face. You can push back on this. It's really easy to understand. Okay, so I'll keep working with you. Do you want to have an inspection of that? See if what I'm saying is true. So let's be clear here again. The school system is incredible for learning information. It's incredible for developing an expertise in a subject. It will make you a low-level wealth creator. Okay, now why? Because anyone that's gone through that system is subconsciously programmed to be a worker ant in someone else's wealth creation system. The school system is a machine that pumps out workers for those that control workers. Mm-hmm. The people that control workers don't think like workers. The people that control workers I have worked with. I have worked for the ultra wealthy. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
It's where I learned all this stuff. The ultra wealthy, who traditionally were the ones that set up the school system, do not think like the people that went through the school system. Okay, case in point. A lawyer comes to me. A lawyer says, I've got this business period. I want help with the business. The lawyer is stuck in the same business location as the working class person that went through the same schooling system. The lawyer, he just got trained in an expertise that he sells for more dollars per hour to someone. Okay? But he is still trained in his thinking that he can't even see as a worker slave and a worker ant. Okay, now, and I'll dig into that if you want, fully. And also, it's really important when I call people worker slaves and worker ants, I'm not off people that work and have jobs, but when we're talking about this subject, it's really important to be very, very clear. In the same way, I have said The education system is great for developing expertise. It is hopeless for creating wealth creators. And a wealth creator that went through the education system and they've gone and done all kinds of courses and they know how to scale a business will struggle because of how they've been trained to think in the education system. The education system undermines wealth creators and is great for creating expertise. Right, get it?
Yes.
Okay, so the
Yeah.
schooling system, they come back to saying, see, I started to think about this when I was younger. And when I was younger, because I was studying my uncle and certain people, I could see what they were doing to run businesses. And I was thinking, why did my parents not say to me when I was younger, Perry, what business are you going to start? What investments are you going to get into? Because starting a business is easy. Very easy. Okay, does that make sense? But why didn't my parents tell me that? So I'm going to go to you. Why did your parents just say, you're going to school? What was the reason for sending you to school? They had a story about it. What was the story?
The story is, yeah, you go to school, get an education, get a good job, and the only way you make money is to climb like a career ladder. And when you're at the top, that's when you earn the most money.
Okay, see, that's just rubbish. Okay, so how do you create wealth? You create a set of resources that operate independently from you that create wealth. You create a system that generates wealth automatically separate from you. Okay. The ultra wealthy that I work with, they were controllers of resources.
Mm.
I am a controller of resources. Controllers of resources control resources, and resources are human capital, human beings, capital, that's money to invest, systems development, process development. I could go on and on and on. That wealth creation. Now, run my model against anyone that's created real wealth and see if this is true. So you've just said the opposite, right? Now we can even do the maths. So you were told a lie. You were told a lie. And let's dig into this lie even further. Now, again, I'm not off people that have jobs. It's not what it's about. But if you're talking about wealth creating, if you're a business person, I must communicate in this way. Your schooling system has not helped you. It's undermined wealth creation because you were trained to be a resource. Okay, now let's do the maths. So basically you're asked to invest, 60 hours a week once you've gone through all your training and your school system to earn a wage. You put money away, you invest, and you retire when you're great. And then you're supposed to have a good life.
And you can enjoy the money when you're too old to go anywhere or do anything. And
yeah, correct, great. Well, I work with entrepreneurs, proper entrepreneurs that have not been controlled by the education system, and they just think completely differently. So they understand that that is not a way to create wealth. They also understand that's risky. It's not good for your life. Okay. Now, again, if someone's watching this and you're a biologist and you love biology and you're working 50 hours a week for the CSR IRO, good on you. That's fantastic. That's actually wonderful. So again, I have no issue with the job. But if you're here talking to me and we're talking about wealth creation, we're talking about business, we're talking about investing, schools ruined you in how you think. Okay. Okay.
And don't
So I'll challenge you now. I know that you'll be stuck on a level of wealth creation because of your schooling system and how you've been trained to think.
I'm definitely.
I'm going to show you something that I work with every day. Okay, every day. Okay. So the typical business owner that we just talked about before that is trained to trade dollars for hours. They were told that by their parents to go and learn that education because it was a safe way of creating wealth, which is a lie. They were better off saying it will help you learn information, but it won't help you create wealth. Okay, look at you, don't even like any of this, but that's fine by me. I'm the one that works with people all the time. Okay, so let's just look at something else. I easily enjoy money that just comes to me from the assets that I create. I love making money from that. Okay. So that's money that I make because I produce something once that sells over and over and over and over and over and over again. Okay. Now, to do that, I must extrapolate who I am. I have people that work for me, so I don't have to do the work. So my basic premise is, what system can do this for me, or what person can do this for me so I don't have to? Okay, what do you think of that as a stance?
Oh, like it's clever. It's the opposite to how I think.
Correct. Okay. So what that means, but this is, by the way, everyone needs to know, I only learned this because I grew up in this matrix of a world where we're told all sorts of things that we don't question. Well, I happen to question them, and I happen to have incredible amounts of diversity. So even though I was trained into a working or middle class New Zealand upbringing, I, at a young age, got access to the super wealthy. And I could see clearly what the super wealthy thought and what my parents were telling me. And I was like, I could see the discrepancy. I can basically take that into every model. I can take a religious model. I've been told all kinds of things about religion. It doesn't take half a brain to, I'm going to be honest with you. I've pretty much worked out everything I've been told is a fucking lie. Sorry for swearing. Everything I've been told about what life is and what we are, and it's a lie. So it all it's all set up to benefit whoever makes the rules, always. Just like the schooling system was set up to benefit those that were making the rules.
This is a whole episode for later. Everything is a
Don't worry,
lie. Like, come on. Can we
okay,
just
I'll
go
slow it down. But
slowly?
yeah, I know. My mic be up. Okay, great. So just come back to that. So I said, okay, who's going to do this for me so I don't have to? What system will do this for me so I don't have to? Because I'm not trained as a doer. You're trained as a doer, and you love doing, and you love the validation of doing, because you're trained as a good worker. Okay, let me step back. yeah, I love you. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, now I understand that I make my money from strategy and intelligence. There's more to why I make money, but it's strategy and intelligence that I'm paid for. I'm paid for by my clients, my ability to read people, and strategy and intelligence. Okay, so if I'm paid for strategy and intelligence, I need to be sitting around thinking a lot. Is that true? If my money comes from thinking, what would be the most important asset to develop for me if money making was from thinking?
Yeah, thinking.
Thinking,
Being
correct.
strategic.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I
I
asked
don't
you
have
to
time
take,
for that.
yeah, correct. If I asked you to take 15 hours off a week, you'll feel guilt, you'll feel shame. I know all the emotions that you will feel, because you're trained as a doer. I was also trained as a doer, but I spent time working with the ultra wealthy, then coaching the ultra wealthy, and so you end up with a different perspective. They taught me what I didn't know and what I wasn't trained to know. You can take
Who's
that.
they? And how do I get onto them? Can you give me their number?
Well, you're learning this stuff here. If you ask me, you're learning what they've taught me. Yeah. So if I said to you,
yeah. Back to our question, some businesses grow effortlessly because they're built by wealth creators who aren't tied to the output.
that's a very smart thing to say. Yeah. So usually, typically, this will give you a model. So typically, the wealth creator will work in only 2 or 3 of their strengths. I learned this early. So as an example, just to show you, okay, I'll go to a company that I'm working with at the moment. The owner, his main asset to that business, like me, is his intelligence and strategic nous as a true wealth creator. He actually has this. He has what the skills of a true wealth creator. So most business owners don't know a lot about people, obviously. They're not psychologists. They weren't trained in that. So I'm effective for companies because of my strategic knowledge about how to grow a business through technician stage. You're in technician stage, trading time for money, thinking like a technician, trained through a school system. Conductor stage, where you're moving and you're starting to build your team out, build your systems out. Now you're starting to work on your business, not in your business. That's how it was traditionally communicated. Sorry, and just got and
Are you
I'm
ready,
weird.
man?
I just
You're
got a big
like,
spike of love. I'm telling you, I just got a big spike of love, but it just came
Oh.
out of nowhere. Anyway, I'm weird. Everyone knows that. So, and then the next stage is what we call independent stage. Okay, so I'll go to independent stage and I'll map out what I'm sharing with you. So at independent stage, that business owner will, if they might be semi-retiring, or they might go to build another business, but free time is really important to them. But it's not free time for laziness. It's free time because they're strategizing. They're working out how to build the business. They're working out where the next level of profit is. Another form we can use is that they have their investor hat on, their CEO hat on. Okay, good. I'm giving you a lot of information in here. So you will have a technician hat because you went through a schooling system and you've learned to trade time for money. You wear a technician hat. You think business is doing. Right,
Yeah.
beautiful, right. Well, they don't think of business as doing. Businesses think about this is that thinking and thinking smart is where money is made, but only when it's implemented. So who implements it? Well, they have team to implement. So to free them up for their top 2 to 3 traits. Now, let's add something else in. They're not just thinking, they're now building relationship. Think of Richard Branson. Richard Branson, he's not working in the machine he's building. He's got the idea concept that's being executed and implemented by really good people. And he's got free time for thinking and strategizing, and he's got free time to go and see a potential partner in England that only he should be dealing with. So if he's working in the business, he's costing himself millions upon millions of dollars a year. So just bring this back. So I'm working with a business owner and he has that form of thinking. And my job is now to help him with strategy to build his team and his systems out so he can just be more like the Richard Branson in his top 2 or 3 money-making traits. Now, this is why wealth creators are always free to make a lot of money because they're executing off the back of really well thought out ideas with people and systems that are capable of executing at some form of speed. Okay, now you will even notice the way that I'm communicating. You're probably going to sleep right now. It's like, oh my God, this business stuff.
No,
But you get me.
I'm
So,
fascinated. No, because I
yeah,
want it,
like just
right?
see
I
how.
want it.
Yeah, that's right. So most local plumbers, anyone that's listening to this that's got a normal business, they need to hear this because you need to be bringing in some of what the super wealthy just do into your business so you get free time and the wealth. Yeah.
Can I go from being a technician into a wealth creator, or are you just kind of either born a wealth creator or not?
Please. Right. Well, that's a great question. Okay.
I'm meant to be asking a pattern question, but I feel
That's
like that kind
okay.
of
Well,
is.
you can just keep doing if you want to ask this question. This is a very profound question. I'm just relaxing a little bit. Okay. I'm shifting gears in a way. I'm shifting gears because you're asking me something about human beings. Can you share what you've seen of me when I work with human beings? You've seen me work with a lot of people. I'm just preparing something here. Like what do you
Yeah.
observe about me and my knowledge of people? If I haven't met them and I've just what do you notice about?
As I said at the beginning of the show, you can see things that other people can't. And so even if I'm telling you something that I believe to be true, you can see the real truth that's coming from almost from my subconscious. It's different, and it's at times different to what I believe is true. So I've seen you, get to a place of truth that most people can't get to.
Correct. And have you experienced when you might not believe what I've told you,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
in 6 months'
Yeah.
time you go, God, he was so correct. Great.
Which time?
Yeah,
And
okay.
I get so defensive at the time.
Well,
I'm like,
everyone does.
that's not true. That's not true. That's not true." And then, later,
My
it
life.
yeah.
I don't like that part of my life. That's the burden I carry. You understand that?
Yeah.
So I see so much,
Yeah.
but I see what people aren't ready to hear or know about themselves, even though it's true. But back to your question, and that's just helpful, you see, because people don't know what I know. So you know and get a glimpse of what I know. And important to say that, you know, I lived in Byron for years until I couldn't wait to get out of there. But, you know, there's plenty of hippies and alternative types there that I could go and tell them, you know, and show them. They'd easily believe that I read people, but I do read people, you know that. And I work with rationalists, materialists, rationalist thinkers who would never believe that what I do is possible. And you know that, you've met them, you've seen me. Their eyes drop because I know what I know about people. And this has come from years of deep inner work. Okay, so to answer your question, anyone can change. And there's a really good frame. Everyone has an ego. They think they're the ego. They become identified as the ego. We all have it. We need one. It's part of the operating system. And that ego is trained into forms of thinking. So as an example, you're trained to be a doer. Let's just take, this is great. Actually, this is great. We'll use what we were using before. Okay. So if I asked you, you heard intellectually that maybe if you took 10 hours out a week just to think and strategize and say, learn some of the stuff that I'm talking about, you could probably intellectually say, yeah, I'd love to do that. Would you? Would you intellectually say, I'd like to do that?
Yeah, 100%.
Great. Right, great. But if I ask you to do it, this is what's going to happen. You're going to feel so much guilt. And, you know, you might say intellectually, this week I'm going to take 10, 15 hours off. Every week from now, I'm going to take 10 to 15 hours off to think. Okay. Now, you've got your personal circumstances, but just, I guarantee your mind will start going, oh no, I've got to do that. I've got to do that. I've got to do that. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. Okay. And you'd come up with all these reasons. Is that true?
Yeah, like the thought of taking that much time is already triggering me. Like
Okay. What's the triggering?
I feel guilty. I feel
Yeah, correct.
guilty.
Guilty. Yeah. Great. Great. Because you're controlled. Anyway, but yeah, you're controlled. Okay, just watch this. Okay, so intellectually, to learn that strategic knowledge is going to make you a better wealth creator. That's fairly easy to work out. But the moment that you go to push against your programming, guilt comes up. Now, what will the guilt say? Just let's have a look at this. This will
Like,
unfold many things.
what are you doing? You're wasting time. You're useless. Go and do something productive. There's like 3 loads of washing that need to be done and a story that needs to be written and a
Great,
to-do
great.
list.
Yeah, great. I was about to ask you, have you ever noticed that when you finish your to-do list, you feel satisfied?
I don't think I've ever finished my to-do list.
No, of course you haven't. Great. But how do you feel when you've got mostly through the day?
Like I should finish it?
Yeah, great. Okay, so can you see that the first step to building a machine that creates wealth for you would be to take time off to strategize what that machine would be? Yes or
Yeah,
no?
yeah. Yeah, I
Right,
see that. Yeah, yeah.
right, great. So instead of doing that, you'll feel guilty because you're not doing now. Okay, so
Pretty
your
much.
mind tells you all these stories. Now I can go to your parents. Your parents also reinforce the stories. In fact, I'm right there right now. Okay, I'll go do it. Want me to?
Yeah.
First of all, so when you were a child in the environment, working was really, really important. It had to be. Actually, it had to be. Now, but I want to go into some of the modeling. So working hard was really, really important. However, in your family background, there is we will never be wealthy and an anti-wealth sentiment. Okay, does this make sense to you? Now, when I say an anti-wealth
Yeah.
sentiment, if someone drove through past your parents' place when they were younger in a Ferrari and got out, okay, and that person was a stockbroker, what would the parents say?
Oh, like, look at this flashy idiot.
Thank you.
Who
Great.
does he think he is? Yeah.
Yeah, who does he think he is? Okay, great. So here's young Bree. She's overhearing that, and what's she deciding about how you're allowed to make wealth and money
That
subconsciously?
you're a show-off idiot if you've got money.
Yeah, okay. But what do your parents think about what he did to get the money? He's a share trader. He provides
Oh,
no seemingly value to the world. He's an options trader. What are they? And he's bought the house down the road. He's got a Ferrari.
they just think that that he's lazy and that he's lucky and that he probably won the lotto or he hasn't worked hard a day in his life.
Oh yeah, he hasn't worked hard all day. Oh, yeah. Here's
He hasn't
Bree
worked
now.
hard a day in his life. Yeah.
Right now, okay. Look how easy that rolls out. Is that sitting in your subconscious? Well, you know it is. Here's you intellectually saying, "Oh God, what Perry's talking about is really interesting. God, I'd like that." In your body, the subconscious is going, no fucking way. I'm not going to be one of those fucking wankers. It's not right to earn money so easily. I'm going to fucking work. I'm going to work. It's just an actual gravitational pull. Now, this is what will happen. This is what I was trying to tell you before. See, the subconscious is more powerful than the conscious mind, and people don't know what's in the subconscious. It's been programmed with all this stuff. I can tell you thousands of stories of people I have worked with to have their businesses run freely and independently of them, and the subconscious stuff that comes up. Want me to share one? You want to take it out?
Yeah.
You're the boss.
Well, I want to. Here's our. I'll grab a pattern question from the jar.
Okay, look at you.
Which says, "What's the most common subconscious pattern that keeps people poor?"
I'd name two. The working one's the big one, and deservability is the other one. And because I'm in a deep thinking mood. Okay.
I'm never in a deep thinking mood.
Oh,
God, I can't believe I just said that's actually in my subconscious, isn't it?
Yeah. I think they called it a Freudian slip. They didn't call it a Jungian slip. They called it a Freudian slip. Okay.
Yes. Sorry, answer the question.
So hard work and deservability. Okay. This is just hilarious in a way. Okay, it's hilarious. I want to approach this in a couple of different ways. So the first one is this, that truly wealthy people just don't have belief systems about money or work. Okay, what does that mean? See how there's air breathing here? It's just air. It's just air. And money's just money. There's no morality ascribed to air. There's no morality ascribed to money. And does this make sense to you?
Yes. No emotion?
There's no emotion. No. But everyone, sex, one of your favorite subjects, Bree, sex, money. Sex and money, people have so many beliefs around, so many complicated, it's like they've got an internal subconscious complicated relationship with these kind of things. It's bizarre to me. Okay, right. So as an example, almost half, maybe even more than half the population are anti-wealth, right? It's just quite classic. They've got beliefs about wealth. They've got beliefs about people that are wealthy, right? Like it's just insane what I see inside of people.
I'm just flashing back to like Ferrari guy. The belief is that he hasn't worked hard a day in his life and he's a show-off idiot.
Correct. So subconsciously, do you think you want to be like him?
No.
No. Okay, great. Now, just to show you how strong this is, if you become him based on what your parents told you, who are you going to be rejected by?
Yeah, my family.
Okay. Now, for those that I'm not, you know, I'm not a materialist, right? This is really interesting. I'm just not. I like things, you know that, but that's also
Yeah.
part and parcel. Money's money. It's just energy. So there's no morality to it, right? When people go, look at these rich people, they're immoral. I mean, how unintelligent are you to think that? To ascribe an entire belief and value system to an entire group of people, right? Sorry, you get it?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh my God, you make it seem so ridiculous.
it's just fucking ridiculous. Sorry, it's like I said to you before. The burden of when you understand things and see things, it's like the world looks like a Looney Tune, a place of Looney Tune. I observe leaders that seem so deeply unintelligent, so deeply disconnected from wisdom. Sorry, it looks like this planet at the moment looks like we're run by cartoon characters. That's how it looks to me.
True.
These people aren't. I just can't believe
So true.
the
They've all got red hair.
Not a Trump lover, are you? Yeah, he's a chaos man. Anyway, let's keep going. So back to like deservability. Okay, so at the moment, I'm working with a group of entrepreneurs, and again, all university trained. If I say to them, look, can you instead of you doing it, you'll make more money if you stop doing that, so you can spend time in your highest dollar productive activities, right? You'll make more money and you'll make it faster. And up here they go, yeah, but the body goes, no way, because the body says, I don't want it easier. And people listening to this going, this is nuts, Perry, what you're talking about. Yeah, it is nuts. You don't know what's in your subconscious while you stand there telling me what your story is. But the subconscious has these other beliefs that people don't see. So most of them are going, no, that will make it too easy. And they're full of that conditioning. We're not supposed to make money easy. We're supposed to work 40 hours a week for it. 40 hours a
plus,
week. Yeah, right. There's programmed to time, just subconsciously.
But I'm sorry, isn't the whole point of subconscious, like you can't access it? So how the hell am I going to know that I'm saying one thing and my body's saying why have you said my body says another thing?
That's very easy. In fact, and I also want to clarify something else I said earlier. Okay, because you've asked two questions. I'm going to come to that one. How do you know what's in your subconscious? And the first one is, can someone change their programming? That was the early one, which I started to answer but didn't answer fully. So we started to investigate some of the things you've been programmed with. So we saw that you would feel guilty taking time off, even if it's advantageous to you as a wealth creator. Okay. Yes, it is easy to change if you're willing to confront the uncomfortable emotions that control you. Let's break that down before I answer the next one. Do you want me to break that down? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, please. No.
Okay. So if I'm excited about getting some time off in a couple of weeks. And I'm excited because that time will be used to come up with far better ideas for making money. And once I have those ideas, I will use systems or people to implement those ideas. What's happening in your body right now, by the way, as I say this, that will help me for the next question?
There's a recognition that when I do give myself space and time, I come up with brilliant ideas.
Beautiful, correct, right. So see that. So when you don't give yourself that space, that doesn't happen because you're in worker mode, doer mode, trained in school mode. Great, beautiful. Yep. Great. You will feel guilty because that's dreaming. Somehow thinking is dreaming. It's not real work. See, because you're trained as a resource to work in my businesses. If you're thinking I want to employ you because you're going to work 40 hours a week and do all my design stuff and everything, can you see how this works?
Yep. Yep.
I don't think like you, and I need you. Actually, glad you went through a school system. I'm glad that you're that you think that way, because now I can employ you for 40 hours a week, and you're going to love that because you were trained to be that. You will undermine your creative spirit, your entrepreneurial potential to fulfill the doer role. Great, good. Okay, so I'm still answering these questions. Good. So good recognition, by the way. But what you experience is guilt is designed to control you. Okay, your own guilt. Your parents needed you to conform to the thinking structures of the working class environment you were brought up in. Great. Now, this is the same for the middle class, the professional class. Everyone is controlled to conform to the values and the beliefs of the hierarchy. In your particular hierarchy, earning money easily would have been seen as a suspicious activity, because the only people that earned that money, I grew up in the same environment, were crooks. Okay, or you're up to shady stuff. So the drug dealer could have lots of money and everyone knew they were a drug dealer. Is that true?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Thank you. Great. Okay, so to get you to conform, we have to get you to agree to our value system. And when you disagree with our value system of the working class environment you grew up in, you will feel guilt. Okay, so I said anyone can change if they're willing to face the uncomfortable feelings that control them. As an example, taking time off for you would bring up a deep sense of low self-worth that you get to escape when you work hard. Now you're holding your breath. Is what I said true or not true?
Yeah, it's mean, but it's true. Probably true.
Why is it mean?
Because you're telling me I've got low self-worth. That's quite confronting to actually think about that.
Beautiful. Beautiful. It's a good thing to think about. Most people don't want to think about it. That's the problem with being around me. You will be forced to think about the things that you don't want to think about. And if you don't want to think about them, you can't get what you say you want. And if you want to get what you say you want, you will have to think about these things, won't you?
Yep.
Right. Okay. And when I talked about low self-worth, pretty much all human beings have low self-worth on this planet. God, that's
even wealth creators.
Let me explain. Okay. I'll work with you. Do you want me to work with you?
Yes, because that was our third section is...
Sorry, I'm undermining you today because
and-
I'm reading you and you're getting flabbergasted.
I'm all over the shop. Our third section was, yes, you get to read me and my wealth challenges, but you've been doing it for the whole time. So, yes.
Well, it's not so much. We were using examples of working middle and professional class so we can start to, even with myself, I'm talking about my own upbringing. Okay. So I'm going to make this universal so you're not uncomfortable as we communicate about this. Okay. Let me look at a reality that very few people will arrive at. The reality looks like this, that as an individual, you don't look up at people and you don't look down on anyone. You just love them. Okay. Now, there's plenty of people that act that. We've just gone through a whole period of time where we have watched millions of people virtue signaling their goodness. I won't get into that. While demonizing everyone that they don't like, and they use ism words to avoid conversation and deep thinking. And they're simplistic thinkers. Okay, right? So true love's a bit different. True love means that you love people, you accept people's weaknesses, and to arrive at this state, you must have love for yourself. Now, what does love for yourself look like? It means that there's no games to play. It means that you don't posture or show people things so you can feel good about yourself. Okay, let's just stay here for a second. Look at the competitive nature of society. Look at marketing. Look at what you're sold. Why do people go to status so easily? When they go to status, they get to escape their deepest feelings about themselves. Okay. Does this make sense? Let's take something as simple as buying a car. When you go to buy, what's a car you dream of having?
Range Rover.
Okay, Range Rover. Beautiful. Now, we can love a Range Rover because a Range Rover is a very beautiful piece of engineering. Now, I've just looked at you and there's something else going on. You're holding your breath. Okay, so we could say if someone went and bought a Land Rover who just loved incredible engineering, I remember having one. It was one of my favorite cars ever. It was very expensive to run. I remember that because when it broke down, it was really, really expensive. It was when a lot of there's many European cars in Australia. And I absolutely loved the engineering, the way the doors closed. In fact, one of my mates is he does ads for Saatchi and Saatchi, and he said we'd capture in the ad the way a Volkswagen or a BMW door closes compared to a Japanese. He said you can tell from the clunk, the quality engineering. Great. Okay. So you can see that someone could love it for that. That's not why most people love the idea of a Land Rover or a Range Rover. Now, the real reason, do you know the real reason that people love the idea of a Land Rover or a Range Rover?
Because it says I've got money.
Yeah, it could be that. Right. Whatever. Yeah, it appeals to. So that image. So I'll bring it to you. If you watch the advert for it, I find car adverts just ridiculous. Am I really a simple thinker like that? You really think that showing this outdoors guy and he's come out of the office in his Land Rover and he's got his surfboards on his roof that somehow there's a beautiful girl really? Am I that? I know I'm okay. Great. Okay.
I only want one because it's what the celebrities drive.
Correct. Okay. Now have a look at this. So for a moment, what are you hoping to feel? Why do you want to show people you got money?
So I look successful.
Yeah, great. Beautiful. See how you got a nice smile on?
Yeah. I'm laughing.
This is just normal. I understand this is normal for people. Okay. Right. Great. So can you see there's a whole bunch of things wrapped up in that?
Yeah.
What do you get to escape from that?
Yeah, this feeling that I'm a loser or not successful or...
Great.
Yeah.
So I've been driving around in this car. I don't even want to share things like this, but just to show you. So I've been driving around in this car that my kids, it's the ones that they used. And it's just an old Subaru and it's got rust. It's what the kids went surfing in. We used to buy when the kids had cars, put the surfboards in so they didn't ruin the good cars. And I've just ride these old diesels. And sometimes I look at myself, and my wife says to me, she goes, you do what interim CEO working for these companies just drives around. But anyway, you get where I don't care.
You wrote a book
because I just so you understand how I perceive things. I never used to be like this because I had low self-worth like everyone else. Okay, it is driving. Nothing. I don't find anything appealing about anything. I can't even. I don't even think like that. You can probably see. I can't comprehend that. That is my life is not going to be any different really between driving that old bomb and driving a nice car. And I've had nice cars. Right? You get me? That's just how my mind thinks. I'm actually thinking about going and getting a Toyota Hilux, a nice one like my mates have. And maybe I'll drive around it and I might get like, fuck, I feel like a working guy now, like back to my Kiwi youth or something, right? But
you think you're a tradie.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, you get what I mean. I don't care. And I'm looking at that because they're beautiful cars. It's practical. It's for me, can work on the property because we have steep property. And by the way, people listening to this are going, what's this got to do with wealth creation? I'm going to show you exactly what it's got to do with wealth creation. All right. Okay. So see how you want that for your image, and it'll get you to escape. Okay. Now, I guarantee you perceive that you believe that you will feel better about yourself driving the land
Range Rover.
Range Rover to what else? An old Mini.
Well, I currently have a Toyota Kluger.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. How do you feel about yourself? Right.
Like I'm a soccer mum?
Yeah, great. Right. So it doesn't fit this image you want to portray.
No, not at all. Not even close.
Right. Great. What are you addicted to? And what are you running from with that? God, we're like Buddhists now, aren't we?
Yeah. I'm addicted to attention.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Yeah. And that's great. And you know what, Brie? So wonderful that you communicate that in the way that you do communicate it, because are you any different to everyone else you know?
I work much harder at getting attention than most people.
Well, you're good at it. Great.
Yeah. But no, I think,
Here's a
ultimately,
question for you. If you didn't want attention, because you have a natural gravitational pull to people, I'm actually interested in this. This is a question for you. So I probably won't go. God, we're going all over the place, but anyway. It's a wild ride, ladies and gentlemen.
it is, and we need to wind it up.
Yeah. I'm going to step it back just for a quick second, and I will bring it to a wealth creation element. I'm basically saying years ago when I wanted attention, so I'll bring it to me. So until I did a certain amount of inner work, I wanted attention. And I wanted attention so I could feel solid. I could feel like a somebody. And I wanted to feel like a somebody because I felt like a nobody. That's the real reason. So truthfully, I felt like I was not good enough. I had low self-worth, low self-esteem. And those people that are watching this telling me they don't have that, you don't even know what's in your subconscious. And I understand the human condition. So you are full of low self-worth or low self-esteem until you're not. Okay. And you know when you're not, because then you love. Okay. So if I feel bad about myself, I'm going to have to fix my identity up, aren't I? I'm going to have to display an identity out into the world. And I will want to paint that identity up in a Range Rover, not in a Morris Minor. But if you didn't need to fix up an identity, how would you be feeling when you drove down the road in the Morris Minor?
You wouldn't care.
You wouldn't care. Okay, now we're going to do something really interesting to finish this off. Now I've triggered you and put it. Sorry. I think I have.
This whole episode has been triggering.
Okay, great. Okay, so what's that got to do with wealth creation? Anyone that is involved in identity will not be a strategic wealth creator. Wealth creation requires intelligence strategically, and it requires the actions required to create wealth. That's all. Hear me? Any desire for identity will get you stuck. Okay. Case in point, based on what we've talked about today, as an exit so you can go away and defrag. I know, as an example, right. Okay, so how would that show up for you in your business? Okay. How would it be advantageous to you to leverage yourself so you didn't have to do so much?
Yeah, it'd be amazing. I don't
It'd be
know how
amazing.
to.
No, because everything that you're involved with, you have to be involved with, don't you?
Yep.
Do you have to be involved in that? How much do you have to control everything you're involved with in your business?
Yeah, all of it.
Okay, now let's stay with this. If I was your manager and I'm coaching you, I understand that you have a personality that's addicted to people. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. I would also say, even if you didn't need to use that to get attention, that personality would still happen naturally. So
Yeah,
what I wanted to
actually.
share before, my personality didn't change, but I just observed that I didn't care what people thought of me. I didn't have to put something on to get someone to think of me a particular way. When I had low self-worth, that's what I kind of needed, to be seen. Okay. The ego is an endless pit of neediness, but anyway, that's another conversation. Beautiful. Always looking. Am I being looked at? Am I good enough? Am I acceptable? Am I a winner?
Am I special? My big one is, am I special?
Special. Yeah, great. Okay.
Mm.
So what I know is that you're deeply afraid of being abandoned if you're not noticed. So your
Yeah.
way of getting
Yep.
noticed as a child, not being seen. Sorry, we're going to go. I can't help myself. I'm here now. It's coming to me, so I'm going to do it and finish it off. Okay. So as a child, when you didn't get seen by certain adults, you had to create a performance to get seen, and you could become a performer to get attention from primary caregiver. Does that make sense to you?
God, Perry, this is a lot, but
You said you wanted me to
yeah, it
read.
does.
Is it true?
I don't. Yeah, I think so. I've got to go into it, and it feels
Okay.
uncomfortable to go into it, but probably.
You might want to rethink how we do the podcast.
I know. We're definitely getting a guest next episode, and I'm just going to ask
Yeah.
really generic questions that don't involve ego or attention or Range Rovers.
No, but
And
it's also I'm going to finish off with this for you. See,
yep,
the only reason I can talk about this, I own all those things in myself and my past,
yeah.
so I don't feel uncomfortable. I will ask you a question. Was one person in your family hard to reach emotionally?
Yep.
They were more shut off emotionally, and you as a child needed connection. Needed it. It was actually true. Your type of person needs connection.
Needs it. Yeah, true.
Did you get frustrated that you couldn't connect to this person?
Yeah.
And how did you feel about yourself when you couldn't connect to this person? You don't have to be specific.
Oh, just like I was nobody.
Because, thank you. You've just done incredible work, and I would like you to reframe this. So anything that I point out on you, I'm willing to point out on myself publicly. Okay. So as a child, you couldn't reach a particular person because they're different to you. They were shut down, and it felt like nobody. Here, you now must be a somebody. So you have a childhood pattern playing out that wants to be seen, so you can fill the void of the love that you perceived you haven't gotten or received. It's a primary pattern from interaction and the way you bonded with the primary caregiver. Okay. Now, again, if I asked you to start handing certain things onto staff or team, you won't want to. If I want to start to pull you out because you won't be seen. So does this make sense?
Yes. I don't want to delegate because I want to be the
Star.
star.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
what that
That's the word.
means is if you ran a salon, I love you working with using hair salons, and you're a perfect person to use for a hair salon. This is you. You'll be the star stylist. Okay. And if you've got other girls on, subconsciously you won't want them to outperform you. You will compete against them. Is that true?
Yes.
Subconsciously.
Yes.
You will start to find fault find in them. Do you know that?
Yeah. I can acknowledge that. Yep.
Beautiful, beautiful. So can I from my past. Okay. Now, if you don't acknowledge this, even though it's uncomfortable, you're angry. But if you don't acknowledge this, can you create the wealth you want?
No, no chance.
No chance. Okay. Now, I wanted to show you something. Finish with this. I'm aware of time. Okay. See, I would want to use your star profile. So I would want to turn you into the star. But I would want to leverage that stardom in a way that created scalable businesses. So if you were in this team, if you were the head stylist and the owner of this salon and you were the star stylist and you've got 4 apprentices on or 4 girls, what I want you to do is to start to step out of that business and make them the stars. Now, first of all, would that make you more money?
Yes.
With more ease?
Yes.
Right. What's your subconscious saying to that, though?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
It feels uncomfortable. I don't want to do it.
Thank you. And by the way, when you asked about how do you find out about your subconscious, you're doing it right now. So we're answering the second question. I've got you present in your body and you can't deny your body's reactions.
Yeah.
Most people are in their head, disconnected from body. Okay. You ready? So it's just finished here. Okay. So can you see that would be the right thing to do? But what I'd also want to do, this will help you. You'll now get a little titillating kick. Here's a titillating kick. To do that, I must say, Superstar Brie, the superstar salon owner who works with all the great stars, I've trained these girls. I've trained them. They've been trained by me. Okay. This now transfers your star status into your money-making machine. You can't do that yet because you're trained as a worker and you're addicted to stardom and being needed. Therefore, you can't have a business that runs separate from you. It's pretty bloody simple.
You got me. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Wealth Savant Show in action. This is Perry literally reading me, calling out me out of my patterns. And, you know, it's a lot, but all of the information I've had could literally be life-changing, and I can feel that. I can feel it. I can feel it. That is episode 1 done. Perry, you could talk for hours, but I'm cutting you off. Keep it for episode 2. We'll be back with more of the Wealth Savant Show.